All right. Cool beans, cool beans. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sue Kim. I am one of the, I'm actually the newest member of the MBRT organization. I am their intern. I'm very excited to be here. This is the first live I've ever done, so I'm very excited to be here. A little more information about myself. I am a senior at Towson University. I study mass communications, and I minor in electronic media and film. The reason why I chose mass communications is because I truly believe in the power of freedom of speech, our First Amendment right to voice our opinions. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to have a few of our wonderful students joining us here on the live very shortly, and we're going to be talking about some current events that are happening in our country today. The topic that we've chosen to tackle today is the Black Lives Matters movement. So we're going to be able to give our students the platform and the opportunity to exercise their First Amendment right. So I'm very excited to have you all here, and I can see some of our students joining us now. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you. While I wait for some of our students to come in. I see Alana's here. Hello, Alana. I'm going to add you here in just one moment. So again, as I was saying before, I am a true believer in the power of freedom of speech. I think it's a wonderful tool. It's accessible by everyone. And with the current evolution of social media, it's far easier for us to access, and it gives our younger generation a greater platform. Oh, there's Alana. Hi, how are you? Can we hear you all right?
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to have you here. Before we get started, do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a Kent County High School student. I am a sophomore going into my junior year, and I have been an activist in my community for a very long time now. And I just want what's right. I'm very active in my community, so I fight for everything.
I love that. I'm so happy to hear that, and we're happy to have you on board. All right, you ready to get started? Cool.
Sure.
All right, I guess we'll just pick. So let's talk about just your views in general on the Black Lives Matter movement, what it means to you today, and what gives you hope.
Okay. So the Black Lives Matter movement is a very important platform in the Black community. The Black Lives Matter movement gives me hope itself. It shows that not all people hate, and not all people are coming from a bad place. It shows there is hope for our future, and people actually care about people who are being oppressed in this system.
Right. Nice. I love that. So being that you are on social media, I'm sure you see a lot of posts and videos, not just from the news outlets, but on your timeline as well. Do you have any feedback on those videos you see, whether it be from one side or the other?
When I see police brutality videos, it really hurts me. I don't even have to know the person or anything like that. It's very sad to see people being abused and harassed just because of the color of their skin, and it really hurts my heart. I can barely watch the videos. I really hate violence, and hopefully we can get to one day where we don't have to witness things like this, and we can be past this and actually be together as one community and love together.
I love that, Alana. It's very, very powerful words. Staying on the topic of media and news outlets, what do you think about how the media is representing the movement?
I have seen some very good things come from the media, and I have seen some interesting and striking things. I am very happy to see some people come out of their shell and actually support something that means so much to so many. So it's very important for people to use their platforms and express what's right in this community and what needs to be educated. Like when people need to be educated, they need to put it out there. And the news, some of the news things, they are very striking because you can really see what side people are on and what side networks are on. So it's really sad to see some of that. But I like to focus on the positive things and call out the negative
Yeah,
ones.
I love that. That's really cool that you're using social media as a speech outlet to voice your opinions and to help contribute to the conversation. I think that's a really awesome thing. Going along with the talk of social media, specifically on your side, when you were saying earlier that when you see like people speaking out, like what are some of the posts that you see that have like really moved you?
I so there's a couple of things that make me happy to see. I like to see people who know that they have been wrong in the past. I like to see them realizing that they were wrong, and I like to see them posting for their friends and family to see. So I know a lot of like people who live in my community personally are not as educated on this topic, so they're really taking this time in to educate others around them that have been not educated for so long now. So I'm happy to see that, and I'm also happy to see some allies really speak up and really let it be known that they are allies, and just Black people and people of color pumping other Black people and people of color up. It really means a lot to see the community holding each other up and not tearing each other down.
Yeah, I definitely relate to you on that part, especially people taking the steps to educate themselves. Because a lot of my friends are not of color or Black, and so they don't quite understand some of the weight and value in this movement. So they're taking the time to educate themselves, and I think that's a really awesome thing. And it definitely gives me hope for this movement, just as you said. That's really awesome. And I guess just some closing words. What are some things that you're hoping to see come out of this movement? And what are some words that you want to leave with our viewers about the movement?
I would like to say that racism is a disease, and it's really in America, and it's really sad to see this going on in this day and age. Like, whew, it's really stressful, and we just need to keep fighting and be positive and hope for a better future for future generations, our children, whoever. Just we really need to keep fighting because that is what's right. And if you ever need support or help or anything, anybody, like, I'm here if you need me, and just never give up.
That was wonderful, Alana. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we move on to our next student?
I'd just like to say thank you for having me.
It was wonderful having you, Alana. I hope to have you back on here soon in the future. Oh, thank you so much. All right, so we'll talk to you later, Alana, all right? Bye.
Bye.
Whoop. Ha ha ha. That's my wall. Excuse that. Haha. All right, let's see. Let's get our next student in here. Oh, look at all these friends. I love this. Let's see. We do have another student, but I think I'm going to wait just a little bit longer while they collect themselves. So while we wait for our next student, and they can let me know whenever they're ready, does anyone have any thoughts on what Alana said or what we talked about, topics that you would like us to address? Feel free to send them on and put them down in the comment section. We'd love to have it. We love audience participation. Oh, here we go. Here's another student. accept. There we go. Samara is about to join us. She's connecting right now. Hello, Samara. Hello. Can you hear me all right? Hi, how are you? Hey, there we go. I am pronouncing your name correctly, right? Hello. Good? Okay, cool. And I am pronouncing your name Samara, right? Is that correct? All right, cool. Well, Samara, do you want to give yourself a quick little introduction so everyone knows who you are?
My name is Samara. Um, I go to Cambridge, South Dorchester, and yeah, I'm a sophomore going into a junior.
Awesome. Ooh, that's very exciting. All right, so we're very happy to have you here. So I guess we'll jump right into it. So what do you know about the Black Lives Matter movement, and what does it mean to you?
I know it's a minority of different people who are, well, I wouldn't say fed up, but wants to be heard, and they're just trying to get a a point across. It's not just one specific point, but it all comes into one point of just letting it be out there.
Hmm, nice, definitely. Um, so what are some of the challenges or disagreements that come with the Black Lives Matter movement? I know we talked a lot about the positives and what we're here to fight for and all things just, but unfortunately not everyone sees the light in that. Do you want to comment on that?
Um, it started out as peaceful until things were taken into other hands, and some people, like, I seen people joke about like the George Floyd thing. They made it as like a little trend thing, and he do have a daughter, and she might not be old enough to know what's going on right now, but she's gonna like have something to look back and see that like people made fun of it. And
Mm,
that's just, yeah.
yeah. Um, how does that make you feel, like as an individual, someone that shares our identity?
it it upsets me. Some of it do, but like it's some people who do go out of their way, even though they're not people of color, but they do go out of their way to try, and they know they won't fully understand what's going on, but they know that if they know they can help, it'll play along with the role.
Right. So, as a student, do you encounter, this might be a heavier question, apologies, but as a student, do you ever encounter those racist issues in your community? And how do you go about navigating those situations?
Personally, I haven't, but I know people who have, and it's just that some people are a little minded about the situation, and with them doing that, that just shows that they think everything's a game, like they're not serious about things until actions are taken a part of, and then they try to blame and point fingers at other people.
Yes, that's very good insight on that. Thank you. Um, moving on to a lighter note, what are some of the accomplishments that you want to get out of the Black Lives Matter movement, both for your community but also for yourself as a young student?
Just spreading awareness of it, and like people who may not know what's going on, for them to actually like dig deep into it and look into what's actually going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good insight. I definitely agree. Personally, for myself, I have unfortunately encountered some racial tensions growing up, both in like my primary parts of education and some towards like my higher education. But I'm very glad, like as you said earlier, that we have allies too, both in the Black community and outside of that. So I think it's really awesome that we are able to further educate them on this topic and that we don't just stand alone, but we stand together. All right. Is there any other things that you want to talk about, like resources that people might be able to look into, how to further educate themselves, and just your own thoughts on the movement and how they relate to you.
All I can really say is to like pay attention to the little things, and like if you got something you don't know, look into it before actually giving your decision on something or speaking on it, because people do have feelings and it might hit a person different from where you're coming from if you don't really understand it versus a person who really understands it.
It's very insightful, Samara. Thank you so much. Are there any other closing words or things that you want to address?
Um, no.
All right, well, that was wonderful. That was excellent. Thank you so much for your insight, and I definitely hope to see you some of our future live streams. All right, well, thank you so. All right, nice talking to you.
I don't give.
All right. All right, so that was Samara. It was wonderful having her. And then we do have another student lined up. I think they are in my queue right now. Ah, there we go. And our next student is currently online. They are connecting. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, we have two friends. Hi, guys. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Amaya. I just finished up my sophomore year. This is my brother Jalil. He's finishing up his 7th grade year.
Awesome. All right. All right. So I guess we'll just jump right into it. So, what do you think that we can do as a community to help this movement?
We can just like go into like the protests, like peacefully protesting with like our community. Of course, like just posting stuff on like our social medias to spread the word and everything. Definitely that.
Yeah. Jaleel? Got it. Cool. So, what backtracking a little bit. So, what do you guys know about the Black Lives Matter movement, and what does it mean to you personally, and also for your community?
Personally, it's just like being equal to all those around us. It's like just getting those rights that Black people like don't really have, and like how we've been like kind of like looked down like from by like other people in our community for like the color of our skin, and like we just want to feel like we're equal and like we have equal opportunity just like everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. So, going back to the piece on social media. So, what are some of the things that you have been seeing in like videos and photos represented in the media? And how do you feel on things that are being spread around?
Definitely like the pictures and videos from like the protests. It's kind of like sad to see what's happening, especially like the violence that's happening. Like I just wrote a short story for my English class about all of this, and it like kind of related to what's happening right now with like all the violence and stuff. And it's some of the things that's like put on the news definitely isn't like representing what's actually happening during the protests, but it's still like heartbreaking to see like the people who are being hurt and all of that.
Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying because those videos, it's like we only see what they want us to see, you know, whether it be for good or bad or neutral. So we don't always get like the full scope of things. So it's definitely heartbreaking to see some of those harder sides of the protests. But it's good to know that not all protests, at least not most of them, are like that.
Yeah.
So how? Oh, excuse me. So also going back with like the media, so how do you think that the media is helping represent this movement, whether it be on one side or the other?
Definitely from like some of the news like stations that I've seen, there are people like on the side of the Black Lives Matter movement who are like speaking up against it, like against like police brutality and all of that, and it's definitely great to see. Well, like some people who like on social media are like posting like all lives matter and all of that, which just the it's just hard to see, and it's like they don't really like understand the side of the Black people because they aren't really trying to understand, I guess.
Yeah. If you had the opportunity to speak up on that hashtag, like the All Lives Matter, like what would you say if someone was up in front and listening?
Definitely like for them to like see what's actually happening, and like they don't personally have the experience that like a Black person has to go through, so they have to really understand, like put themselves in a Black person's shoes to feel how they feel, especially if like they see like the All Lives Matter stuff.
Yeah. My friend shared an analogy with me. It's like if you're a fighter and a house is on fire, you don't hose down the houses around it, though they are important. You hose down the house that's on fire because that's the one that needs the most attention right now. So yeah. And then I guess lastly, so do you know like where in your community you can go for guidance or help, whether it be for the whole community or just for you guys personally?
I know personally that I can go to like my parents or anything. My school is definitely um, helpful against this because recently there has been a student that goes to my school that had there was a video of him saying the N-word multiple times, and my school took action against like on it, and for like the Black people that also went to my school who spoke about it, and he was eventually like expelled from my school, so like they're definitely helpful on this.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you have a lot of support coming from your education side along from friends and family. That definitely makes me feel good, and I'm glad that that is an outlet that you both have. Are there any closing thoughts that you, Jaleel, or you would like to say on the movement?
That this all like this protest and all of this has been like from like all the oppression we've been like dealing with, because like I also like heard an analogy like somebody has like stubbed their toe like multiple times, and like at the last time they like started like they screamed, and it was like the breaking point, and like the George Floyd, like what happened to George Floyd was kind of like our breaking point. So like this is why like all of this has broken out.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy. That's a very good way of putting it. Well, thank you guys so much. It was wonderful having you here on the live stream. Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we hope to have you guys here soon.
Definitely will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye, friends.
Bye.
All right, so we just heard from 3 of our students. Are there any other people that would like to come on and a few words? Let's see. All right. Well, I guess as we wait for other people that might want to join on, I'll start saying a few closing things. So for me personally, this whole movement, there's an analogy that I like to say for myself. It's that selflessness only works if we take care of each other. So this movement, though it affects a lot of people that have Black identities or are related to Black people in a certain way, yes, this movement affects us more and deeply, but it affects our whole community if we really think about it. And the idea of that selflessness only works if we take care of each other is that, well, just simply that we have to take care of each other. This movement affects everyone, our country, our world. And I think that it was wonderful that we have all of our students contributing to this cause that came out and spoke with us today. And it warms my heart to also see our viewers commenting as well, their support and their love for this movement. So I thank you guys so much for joining us here today. Again, my name is Sue Kim. I'm the intern here at the at MBRT. I hope to see you. Oh, thank you, Nona. I'm looking forward to having round 2 as well for our live stream. We'll be doing this again on Wednesday at hopefully the same time at 1 o'clock. So please, please, please keep updated with us. Feel free to give us feedback on topics that you would like for us to address, or if you have students that are wanting to come up on this platform and exercise their First Amendment right to speak and speak freely, we would love to have them and love to hear them. I'll leave with these words that though that we are currently living in a time where hate seems to be very strong and prevalent, and though it is their right to say such hateful things, I think a really cool thing about our right is that we have the right to refute that and to comment back against that hate. And words speak very loudly, especially when they are words that come with love and compassion and support for others. So thank you guys again so much for having me here. It was wonderful talking to you all, and we hope to see you again on Wednesday. Bye, everyone.